It is soon approaching Judgment Day. The clash of the gaming titans will take place at E3 2016. Microsoft looked to take it to Sony at this year's biggest game event, so we're hedging our bets regarding who'll steal the show with our PlayStation News Now E3 2016 predictions. Don't go anywhere. What's up everybody, I'm Sean Fox and you're watching PlayStation News Now, your source of newsroom and reviews and video game discussion. In today's video, E3 2016. Imagine, set the scene. Sony kicks off the show with a montage of existing and upcoming games like they always do, and the crowd attending, with the millions of viewers watching the live stream from home sit in anticipation of what will come next on the Sony stage. A showcase of PlayStation 4 Neo. Now, the PlayStation 4 Neo might be the year's worst kept secret of E3, and we've certainly heard talk of updated PlayStation 4 hardware for well over a year now, and I've put forward many videos with a dash of fact and a sprinkle of speculation. Whatever you feel about the new PlayStation 4 upgrade, you cannot deny the excitement new hardware can bring to E3. Now, PlayStation Neo will feature high-end internals, and Sony will probably try to market it as a premium device that's best paired with a PlayStation VR headset. Now, PlayStation Neo, that will be released by November 1st and will retail for $399. What will be interesting to see is what Sony plans to do with the older model. If we had to guess, we'll see a price drop similar to what Microsoft has done to $299, and shipments will be less frequent. Sony will ultimately attempt to market the new Neo SKU as the prime PlayStation console. With a tasty 4.5 teraflops of raw computing power, that's 2.5 times the power, serving gamers with two modes. The vanilla PlayStation 4 mode, yep, that's the regular PlayStation 4 you currently own, and the beefier PlayStation Neo mode, allowing increased resolution and frame rates. The prospect is certainly tantalizing. Then there's PlayStation VR. Many insiders speculate that the entire purpose of Sony designing an upgraded console is to offer consumers a product with enough horsepower to easily handle PlayStation VR. Should that be the case, we expect that this will be the first year that the headset has a substantial showing. First party reveals will probably fill in the bulk of the segment, with a few third party offers thrown in. Crytek always has its hands in a number of different pies, so we may see something unexpected from the team at E3 this year. But with the climb now available, might it be time for Crytek to show off its big PlayStation VR game, Robinson The Journey, at this year's show? It's a bit hard to say precisely what will be shown with anything VR, but we imagine that its section will be much longer than the 2-minute breeze that we saw last year. We'll say it will last 30 minutes at a minimum. Then there's the hopeful return of Crash. So ride or die PlayStation fans that grew up in the 90s have been clamoring for more Crash Bandicoot, and we predict that E3 2016 will be when we see that wish finally fulfilled. Sony has been teasing its old mascot of late in the form of tweets from official accounts, Sony Interactive Entertainment President, t-shirt choices, and most recently through an Easter egg in Uncharted 4. Officials had long said that the reviving Crash was a matter of getting the rights back from Activision, so maybe that's occurred. Now, in terms of what this game will look like, that's hard to say. Maybe a team at Activision is actually developing it. If the rights do belong to Sony, we'd love to see Insomniac build it with the Ratchet & Clank engine as a PlayStation 4 exclusive. The biggest letdown would be a simple classics release of the old games, but that's not out of the question. Also expect release dates for The Last Guardian and Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, The Last Guardian and Horizon Zero Dawn wowed the crowd at last year's E3 convention with impressive demos, but we haven't heard much about either title over the last 12 months. In that case, 2016's presser will probably feature a deeper dive into both products with full release dates. Given what we know, we predict that The Last Guardian is coming a lot sooner than people think and might even be on store shelves by August or September. With a few months of separation, Horizon is then perfectly lined up to be a big fall game alongside Gran Turismo Sport. both titles are diverse enough to offer a solid first-party slate for the holidays. Now, of course, what you're most looking forward to are new games. Dead Don't Ride, Injustice 2, and God of War. The E3 press conferences are all about new game announcements, and Sony's event will offer no shortage of those. 3 games that we think will blow up the internet are Sony Ben's Dead Don't Ride, a rebooted God of War, and a third-party sequel to Injustice: God Among Us. Then there's a certain intriguing little Sony exclusive we're looking forward to, with underwater adventures in the form of Abzu from developer Giant Squid. Perhaps we'll finally get a release date. Atlus generally tends to save big Persona reveals for Japanese publications and events, but if we believe the people who tell us release dates, this year's E3 will likely be the last major US show before Persona 5 hits. And with the series growing popularity in the West, we wouldn't be surprised to see Atlus bring its big gun for some new details. Now, it seems almost certain that we'll hear more about Tekken 7 console plans at the show, but the good money says we may also see something new in VR from Bandai Namco, given the company's extensive support to date. Maybe E3 is when the company will finally show Tekken VR. Now, like most big announcements, we've already seen plenty of leaks that suggest these titles exist, and Samsung has shown interest in Injustice, and all indicators point to Dead Don't Ride as some kind of motorcycle-focused zombie apocalypse game. Now, Shenmue 3 should get a release date, and a gameplay demo with Quantic Dream's Detroit Become Human will no doubt get a little spotlight, unless Sony is holding some stuff back for future game events later down the 2016 road. Now, as for God of War, there's been constant rumours that the next installment in that franchise deals with Norse mythology. We think all of those existing reports will be proven accurate. Sony's E3 2016 press conference is slated for June 13 at 6 PM PT, and if you're in the UK, that's 2 AM in the morning. Now, of course, Microsoft won't be sitting back letting Sony have it all to themselves. The Xbox division has a lot to prove going into this event, and we're pretty sure this year Xbox head Phil Spencer will want to make a grand statement of intent. Microsoft has put on a great show at its past 2 E3 press conferences, and since the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One launched, has debuted a larger and more diverse array of games. If we're talking established and older IP, the Xbox lineup in 2014 and 2015 were marginally better than Sony's offerings on PlayStation 4. However, 2016 has already proven Sony were just simmering, as PlayStation 4 has seen 5 or 6 exclusives already this year, compared to Microsoft's only major release, Quantum Break. So Microsoft will be hard pressed to top what its main competitor Sony have in store. Now, that won't stop it from trying though, and while the list of games it is likely to have isn't exactly the most blockbuster lineup, that just affords the room to potentially surprise gamers with something new and exciting. Let's take a look at what Microsoft might have in store. Gears of War 4 will be the big focus of the show, so expect a new trailer and a lengthy gameplay demo. Microsoft wants the Coalition's first game in the series to be a big hit, and it's been long enough that fans will certainly be up for a new game, so the audience is there, they just need to be wowed. Another game Microsoft has for late 2016 is the new Forza, which we know will be revealed at the show. It could be Forza Horizon 3 or a new spin-off entirely. Also, Crackdown 3 is another big hitter on Microsoft's schedule that should turn up. Gameplay is a must, as little has been shown to date, and hopefully there will also be news regarding a release date. Early 2017 seems a safe bet for this, but at Gamescom last year Microsoft confirmed a public beta for this summer. Perhaps that beta will start during the show itself. Other big players from last year's trade show press conference include Rare's Sea of Thieves, which fans will want to hear from, otherwise they'll start to worry. Scalebound, Platinum's delayed 2017 exclusive, and Recall, the new game from Metroid Prime creator Keiji Inafune. On the indie side of things, Microsoft has always given a decent spotlight to smaller budget titles like Ion from Daisy creator Dean Hall, and Cuphead, a favourite since its announcement 2 years ago, but this has raised some concern as it really should have been released by now. Also, Ashen also impressed last year with a lovely trailer. Expect a few more indie delights from Microsoft. Now, EA and Ubisoft have their own conferences, but have also shown up at a few recent Microsoft presses, so expect a couple of announcements. EA Access has been a big success on Xbox One, so that'll surely be mentioned too. If there's an announcement, our bet is something that involves the console's backwards compatibility, bringing older EA games to the service on consoles. Speaking of VC, a slew of new 360 games would make for a nice smaller announcement. As for games EA could show off, a few or all of its slate titles, sports titles, or maybe something from the upcoming expansions for the Star Wars Battlefront game. Ubisoft has always been quite chummy with Microsoft in recent years, so it could bring something of its own. New content for The Division is the safest bet. Anything new, it will save us for its conference later that evening. Also, as mentioned in our Sony predictions, Capcom could show up with Resident Evil 7. Now, last year, Dark Souls 3 was announced at Microsoft's presser, so this year could be the venue at which From Software details DLC for the game. Telltale Games found success with Minecraft Story Mode, so a second season could be announced. It's hard to predict what else Microsoft might have planned for Mojang's series at the show. When it comes to new and unexpected announcements, all eyes will be on whether Microsoft announce an upgraded version of the Xbox One. Xbox Scorpio, rumored to be 4 times the power of the current Xbox One and capable of VR and 4K display. In March, Xbox boss Phil Spencer revealed plans to open up the Xbox platform, but quite what that means is still very much up in the air. In April, reports surfaced that Microsoft is testing multiple prototype consoles. More news about Windows 10 crossovers and integration is expected too, and hopefully the console user interface will be updated in the upcoming anniversary update. Xbox Slim is sure to be revealed, as Microsoft have officially dropped the price of the current Xbox One to just $199 in order to make way for its replacement. In terms of peripheral Microsoft hardware, the HoloLens augmented reality headset may appear again, but with talks reportedly taking place between Oculus and Microsoft, VR may be where the Red firm first wets its virtual feet. But what could Microsoft bring that would be unexpected? There isn't a huge amount that immediately springs to mind, which means the company could certainly surprise in its announcements. When it comes to sequels, the time could be right for a new Dead Rising game, or even a sequel to Sunset Overdrive. The recent Shadow Complex remaster could have also set up a sequel as well. So yes, there are likely a ton of games missing from today's video, but these are the games that we think will make it to the E3 2016 event. The hype for E3 2016 is at fever levels right now, and like I said earlier, Microsoft have a lot to prove this year, so we fully expect Microsoft to come out all guns blazing. Of course, Sony will have the advantage of going before Microsoft, which could be a strategy in itself. Now let's see just how accurate these predictions were, and of course there are sure to be many surprises and unknowns from both Sony and Microsoft. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Bringing us to the end of another video. If you enjoyed the content, go ahead, poke the like button, and thanks to everybody who shares our videos, helping us reach more PlayStation fans, and subscribe for more PlayStation news, rumor, and reviews. Until next time, play games, not corporations. Thanks for watching, everybody.